Hello guys, I'm Stuart Haddikin, and here are the 3 automotive procedures I learned this semester. The first procedure is one that I learned is how to do a fuel pressure test. This was done on a Saturn IM2. This is a very simple job and it only requires 2 tools, a fuel pressure test kit and a jerry can or container for excess gasoline. Now getting into this simple job. You'll need to release your hood and prop it up securely. You will then need to grab your fuel pressure test kit and the right fitting. In this case, it was the one that goes over the nipple to check the pressure. Look at the fuel rail and find the notch that resembles a bicycle valve stem. There's a plastic cover that needs to be unscrewed and then screw on the attachment that fits with the car. After this, you will attach the gauge as if you're attaching the tool to an air hose. Pull back the metal shield while turning the gauge piece and then release the metal guard to have the whole assembly connected. Once this is complete, you'll need a friend to help you out. Get them to turn on the car and watch as the gauge rises. It should stay at the same level. This will test the key on pressure. The next step would be to have your friend step on the gas, have them hold it around 3,000 RPM, and while your friend is revving the car, you should be monitoring the gauge. If the needle is under 50 psi, then you have a concern. You should also look out for needle dipping while or when the car is revving. Once you have collected your information, you can turn the car off and then press the pressure release button on the dial and lead the hose into a jerry can nearby. Once all the pressure is released, you can remove the test kit and replace the package to cover. Congratulations, you just completed a fuel pressure test. The second task I'll walk you through is the thermostat replacement on a greasy old truck. The tools required for the job are minimal. You'll need a flathead screwdriver, a basic pair of pliers, and a 1/2-inch swivel socket, and of course a ratchet, along with a new thermostat hosing gasket. The first step is to remove the hose from the top of the radiator that leads down into the thermostat housing. All you have to do is remove the clamp on either end and give it a good yank. Once this hose is removed, there's another small one that is conveniently right in the way. It is shaped like a 90-degree angle. Removing this hose is the same as the other one. Take the flathead and remove the hose clamps on both sides. This should come off with a bit of effort. Now that you have the 2 hoses off, you can begin to remove the 2 bolts from the thermostat housing. This is when you'll need your ratchet and swivel socket. After undoing both bolts, slowly remove the thermostat housing and the thermostat. Now that you have everything removed, you can go ahead and install the new gasket along with some gasket spray to help seal the gap. The housing is now ready to be replaced. Get the thermostat in the housing and have the bolts lined up. Lightly screw in the bolts by hand, then tighten with the ratchet. Now that the assembly is put together, you can put back on the hoses starting with the angled one in front of the housing and then continue on to the big hose at the top. During this process, there will be some spillage of coolant. Just make sure you clean up your mess and top up the coolant afterwards. With all this said and done, you've officially completed your thermostat replacement and repair on a greasy old truck. The third and final procedure that I learned turned out to be very helpful. The task is to pressure test a radiator. To start this job, you only need 1 tool, the radiator test kit. In this case, this job was done on a Ford Escort. Once you have the hood propped up, you can go ahead and locate the radiator cap on top of the radiator. Locate the number displayed on the top of the radiator cap, which will show the proper PSI to set the tester to. In this case, the number was 13 PSI. So find the correct fitting for the test kit, and then remove the radiator cap and install the fitting. After this is done, you'll need to use the hand pump on the kit to inflate the system to 13 PSI and let it sit for a couple of minutes. After letting it sit, if the number has remained the same, you have a leak-proof cooling system in the radiator. However, this is not always the case. I did this once in an older truck, and it actually helped me locate the broken line. It can be seen spewing out coolant, which made the diagnosis very easy. This could be the first step in having to diagnose any coolant or radiator problem. With all that being said, those are the top 3 things I learned this semester. Thanks.